The journey towards physical fitness is an arduous one. How do you stay a health-minded individual in this day and age? There are so many obstacles laid out on the path in front of you, so many missteps and deadfalls, it almost seems like an impossibility, that the goal is out of reach, that it's simply unattainable. Going to the gym, well, that's out of the question. That's where all those alt-right neo-Nazis gather. And you don't want to get arrested by the police, do you? As I'm sure we're all well aware, weightlifting is the gateway to lynching black people. And suggesting that somebody eats properly, that they exercise self-control and put down the sugary sweet snacks, well, that's just wrong. It wouldn't be very progressive of me to go against the notion of health at any size and tell you to put the Twinkies down, fat tits. So if you can't exercise and you can't enforce portion control, how exactly do we go on our journey towards being a fit individual? Well, it begins by looking at this outdated, archaic caveman concept. Now, I'm sure if you're an old-timer, you probably remember this myth being taught in the classroom to you and many millions of other Americans. For many years, people were taught if they wanted to be healthy, they needed to adhere to this lie, this blatant propaganda. But what if I told you there was another way forward? There was a different way of doing things. And it starts right here, by throwing out the preconceived notion of what a food pyramid should be, and replacing it with something far, far different. And it's this underpinning that helps to promote what I like to call the current year cookout philosophy, the Millennial Meal Guide. One of the biggest obstacles to staying healthy in this day and age is that we are far too lax in our environmental mindset. We look outside of ourselves to sustain us, looking into the environment, into the life that exists on this planet to feed our hunger. You see, the only way forward is inward, and we need to replace this food pyramid with this one. By adhering to this brand new approach, you will never have to exercise another day in your life, and you don't even need to enforce portion control. You'll never put on an extra pound ever again. In fact, I guarantee it, because we've moved well beyond simple veganism, which is the agnosticism of dieting. It is the fence-sitter's approach to a proper lifestyle. This new philosophical approach is all-encompassing. It's holistic because it uses all of you. So join me on this culinary crusade as we journey along and take a look at the different delicious, delectable, delightful treats that await us. Now, I know you wacky kids, you love your sexual liberation, and I'm sure quite a few of you have gone muff diving before. But have you ever tried a muff muffin? I cook for my husband using menstrual blood. My mouth is watering. And what secret ingredients go into the preparation of such a special dish for your special loved one? She knows it's wrong, but also knows it's not poisonous. While she admitted that she knew that cooking for her husband using her period blood without him knowing was wrong, she doesn't think it's poisonous. She was adamant that if cooking with her period blood was the way she could keep her marriage intact, she's okay with continuing to do it. If that's what it takes to keep my marriage intact, I have no regrets. I am a very emotional being. I might die if my heart is ever broken. Who are you to judge me? But don't think that raw pussy juice is just used in the making of muffins. No, you can add it to anything. He asked me to cook rice for him. I was on my period. I removed my pad and stuck it inside water and made sure the blood was very much so in the water. I added my urine into the water, and I made stew for him. He came back and ate the food without knowing. Now that's what you call a secret ingredient. He thought it was just going to be a little bit of period blood, but then she hits him with the unexpected urine and it's BAM! Spice City. And that BAM, that's a secret little nod to the fans of the Food Network. You know, the Food Network, the #1 source for healthy eating in America. The only TV station that has all the hot strats and pro tips you need to keep your weight under 700 pounds. Now after eating all that delicious pussy blood muffins, and pussy blood and pea rice, you're going to want to wash it down with a little something. So how about a nice tall glass of cum? Getting wasted on cum cocktails, our new crazy intern Gabe got a bunch of her girlfriends and guy friends together to drink semen cocktails. Here's how it went. Nothing says party time like dropping a load into a shot glass and then mixing in a little bit of tequila. I know when I go to a bar, I don't just want vodka on the rocks. I want those rocks to get off. Of course, remember with any food preparation to always take safety precautions. Playing with semen is not all fun and games. I would like to add that you can still contract STIs from drinking semen, even mixed in a cocktail. A good rule to stick by if you want to have your own cocktail party is never drink anyone's semen unless you can verify that they're clean. Also, don't jizz in your friends' drinks without them knowing. That should be reserved for consenting consumers only. Please enjoy responsibly. But maybe hard alcohol's not your thing. Maybe you're looking for something a little more cool and relaxing, with less of a edge to it, something that won't upset your stomach. Well, how about a strawberry surprise milkshake? You betcha there's a surprise in this milkshake, if you dare use your own milk for a shake. We suggest chilling it in advance. Mix 1 cup breast milk, 8 ounces frozen strawberries, 3 ounces orange juice concentrate, 1 cut up frozen banana, and 1 cut up pineapple chunks in a blender until smooth. Serve, sip, and see what it's like to drink human milk. You can also check out this video recipe for Rosie's breast milk smoothie. Now, if you're like me, you want something a little more substantial. I mean, you've had your muffins, and you've had that delicious stew and rice, but you want a little meat in your diet. Something with a little bit of kick to it. And what better than bacon? Vagina bacon. Well, Reddit, I've done the unthinkable. Hopefully this won't get buried under these great comments. After so much wonderful feedback, I decided to go through with S-Lunatic15's unintentional suggestion and fry my vaginal bacon. Before anyone asks, I decided not to take a bite. I did smell it, however, and it smelled fucking delicious. So I was pretty tempted, you know. Then I remembered, it came from my cunt. And this amazing recipe comes to us from a thread about a woman who was menstruating and had a little piece of her slip out and was curious just what it was and what to do with it. Do you think if you fried it up that it would taste like bacon? I imagine the meat is pretty lean. It wouldn't be all that tasty without some fatty tissue to accompany it. Cooter bacon, part of a lean diet. Or cooter bacon, made from her pleasure. Now, sadly, we live in bigoted times, and I would love to show you what this delicious dish looks like. But there is no way Google's gonna let me, is there? There's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to show you what this is without this video being pulled down immediately. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description that will take you to the original Reddit post. And I would highly suggest taking a look when you got a little bit of time. Maybe have the whole family gather around the computer because I think you're all going to be really impressed with what this bacon looks like. I can smell it sizzling just looking right now. But my God, you know, that bacon really is filling, and I need something else to drink to wash it down. It's so meaty. It's so meaty and zesty. I need something to cleanse my palate. Imagine the essence of a woman in 1 bottle of beer. Beer with the flavor of champagne. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you could bottle pussy and then drink it at your leisure? Well, luckily, Wyszachaman from Poland thought the exact same thing. Now, this isn't a recipe that you can prepare at home. You'd have to specialty order it. Sadly, the Indiegogo didn't really work out. But they take a bacterial sample from your lady lover and then ferment it into a delicious beer. Now, a fair word of warning, you're going to want to make sure your lady is clean down there, because if she's a little too yeasty, you're going to end up with a loaf of bread rather than a bottle of beer. By this point, you're probably pretty full up. You've had a lot to eat today and you need to take a bowel movement. But under the philosophy of the current year cookout, the Millennial Guide to Meals, that bowel movement isn't taking a dump, it's preparing leftovers for tomorrow. So be sure to bring your ladle with you and a few Tupperware containers, because that's going to make some mighty fine burgers. So now that you've taken those first few steps into this brave new world of food preparation and enjoyment, how do you respond when somebody asks, what are you? You're not really a herbivore, you're not an omnivore, you're not really a carnivore. You're not just a simple meat eater, you're not a vegan. How would you define yourself? Well, I have the perfect term. You're a new cannibal. You subsist off of eating humans and human byproducts, both your own and other people you know, with or without their permission. Just remember, don't kiss the cook. He might eat your fucking face.